In the deepest shadows of the Mariana Trench, an ancient terror awakens, hungry for a world that has long forgotten the true masters of the ocean floor. The aura of the seas represents the pinnacle of human luxury, a floating paradise carrying thousands of souls across the most mysterious waters on our blue planet. Passengers enjoy the tranquil breeze, unaware that beneath the keel, 10,000 meters of darkness hold secrets that should have remained buried in the prehistoric past. The first sign of trouble is subtle, a rhythmic vibration that travels through the steel hull, felt more in the chest than heard by the human ear. A shadow longer than any known whale moves with predatory grace, its massive tail fin cutting through the deep currents like a silent, underwater scythe of destruction. Suddenly, the piece is shattered by a bone-jarring impact that sends the pool water erupting, throwing unsuspecting vacationers off their feet in a moment of terror. This is no accident. It is an attack. The Megalodon, a relic of the Miocene era, has found a target worthy of its prehistoric power and hunger. Deep within the bowels of the ship, the reinforced steel skin of the aura of the seas gives way, allowing the freezing ocean to claim the machinery. As the vessel begins to list, the realization of their isolation sets in. They are alone in the middle of the Pacific, at the predator's mercy. The sonar confirms the impossible, a signature so large it can only be a living mountain of muscle and teeth, circling for a second lethal strike. It lurks in the transition zone, its bioluminescent scales flickering with a ghostly light, preparing to drag the modern world down into its ancient, dark abyss. Panic spreads like wildfire as the emergency sirens wail against the wind, signaling a catastrophe that no drill could have ever prepared the crew to handle. From below, the ship looks like a wounded animal, its rhythmic engine pulses acting as a dinner bell for a creature that hasn't fed in centuries. The very architecture of the ship is failing. The massive pressure of the ocean and the relentless battering of the beast are tearing the hull apart. Every second counts. The aura of the seas is losing power, its engines dead in the water, leaving it a sitting duck for the prehistoric nightmare. With a single sweep of its powerful tail, the predator creates a whirlpool of destruction, making any attempt at conventional escape a suicide mission for passengers. Inside, the luxury is replaced by a wet, dark nightmare. The halls that once echoed with laughter now ring with the sounds of a dying ship. The scale of the threat is incomprehensible. Humanity's greatest engineering feat is being dismantled by a force of nature that time forgot to kill off. As the beast breaks the surface, the full horror is revealed. It is a king of the deep, reclaiming its throne at the cost of human lives. The ship is listing dangerously. All systems are failing. This is the moment where fear turns into a desperate struggle for the simple right to survive. The main drive is gone. The propellers are jammed by debris. The ship is now a drifting coffin, slowly being dragged toward the trench's edge. The predator has changed tactics. It is no longer just attacking. It is attempting to drag the entire vessel down into its lightless, high-pressure domain. From above, it looks like a struggle between gods. The white foam of the ocean masks the violent battle happening just beneath the churning blue waves. The shark is patient. It knows the ship is wounded. It circles like a ghost, waiting for the perfect moment to deliver the final, crushing blow. Gravity becomes the enemy. Every step is a battle as the floor becomes a wall, and the world outside the windows is replaced by the sea. The sheer physical force of the Megalodon is staggering. No animal in modern history possesses the power to manipulate a 100,000-ton vessel with such ease. A single red flare pierces the darkness, a desperate cry for help that reveals the true scale of the monster lurking in the ship's shadow. The rudder is lost. Steering is impossible. The ship is now entirely at the mercy of the currents and the whims of the ancient prehistoric predator. Radio silence is broken only by the crackle of static and the low, rumbling growl of the creature transmitted through the very hull of the ship. The ocean is trying to get in. The monster is trying to pull them down. It is a pincer attack from the elements and a living nightmare. In that massive eye, there is no malice. Only the cold, unyielding instinct of a creature that has survived extinctions and outlived entire civilizations. The symbol of human luxury is being swallowed whole. The grand staircase, once a stage for elegance, is now a conduit for the cold Pacific. It draws breath from the deep, oxygenating its massive muscles for one final devastating charge that could split the aura of the seas in two. For those in the lifeboats, the horror is personal. They are inches away from a predator that views them as nothing more than insignificant specks of food. The name of the ship is becoming a tombstone. The pride of the seas is being humbled by the true king of the oceanic depths. Darkness descends as the main generators fail. The ship is now a ghost vessel, floating in a world of black water and primal, ancient fear. It moves with the weight of the ages. Every motion is deliberate. Every strike is calculated to maximize the damage to the fragile human structure. In this moment of absolute despair, as the ship reaches its breaking point, the survivors realize that only a miracle can save them now. Thousands of miles away, the signal is received. At the secret headquarters of Project Hades, the mission to save the unsavable begins immediately. This is what they trained for. Project Hades was built for the impossible, for threats that lie beyond the scope of conventional military and rescue forces. Advanced technology meets raw courage. The rescue fleet is launched, a symphony of engineering designed to face the terrors of the prehistoric deep. Cutting through the storm, the Hades Vanguard flies toward the coordinates of the aura of the seas, carrying the most advanced aquatic weapons ever conceived. The deployment is flawless. Like falling stars, the rescue units descend into the chaos, their AI systems already locking onto the target below the waves. They enter the water with surgical precision. These are the hounds of Hades, mechanical guardians designed to hunt the most dangerous predators in existence. Equipped with multispectral sonar and neural link sensors, the drones map the underwater battlefield in real time, highlighting the monster in a sea of darkness. The primary rescue vessel arrives, a titan of industry and technology that dwarfs the rescue fleet, standing as a beacon of hope against the night. The sonic cannon is the centerpiece of their arsenal. It uses focused sound waves to create a non-lethal but debilitating barrier for even the largest creatures. Every movement of the rescue fleet is choreographed by the finest minds, their thoughts linked directly to the machines they pilot through the abyss. Speed is life. The drones must reach the ship before the next attack, forming a perimeter of protection around the thousands of souls on board. The human element remains vital. Elite divers equipped with exoskeleton suits descend to provide the manual expertise needed to stabilize the failing hull. Augmented reality displays show the damage in terrifying detail. The ship is held together by little more than hope and failing structural rivets. The predator senses the change. It is no longer alone with its prey. It faces a new kind of challenger, one made of cold steel and light. The Hades shield is established, a barrier of light and sound meant to confuse the shark's senses and buy time for the rescue operations. Direct contact is made. The rescue boats begin the arduous process of transferring the most vulnerable passengers while the battle rages just feet below. Power levels reach 100%. The air itself hums with the potential energy of the sonic pulse, a weapon of pure frequency. The beast strikes first. It rams through the perimeter with the force of a freight train, proving that nature's weapons are still formidable against technology. Project Hades has arrived. The line is drawn. The battle for the aura of the seas is about to enter its most violent and decisive phase. The first blast is a warning. The sonic pulse hits the shark's sensory organs like a physical blow, sending a shockwave through its massive nervous system. For the first time in millions of years, the king of the ocean feels pain from an invisible source, confusing its primitive mind and stalling its attack. Drones swarm the beast, tagging it with biotrackers. We cannot kill what we cannot see. The goal is to map its every move in the dark. The shark retreats into the shadows, but it is not defeated. It is recalculating, adapting its ancient tactics to this new technological threat from above. The chase is on. Drones follow the monster into the depths, navigating a graveyard of falling debris as the aura of the seas continues to shed its skin. The predator strikes back with lethal precision. It crunches through titanium and circuitry with a single bite, showing no fear of the machines that haunt it. It targets the rescuers. The Megalodon understands that the small black drones are controlled by the larger ships, and it intends to cut off the head. Signals are dropping. The shark's raw power is neutralizing the technological advantage, forcing the Hades team to push their equipment to the absolute limit. The secondary firing mode is engaged. A sustained wall of sound creates a physical barrier, a force field of frequency that the beast cannot penetrate easily. The energy levels are off the charts. The ocean itself seems to boil under the pressure of the rescue operation's desperate attempt to hold the line. It is a dance of death. The shark moves with an agility that defies its size, looking for any gap in the sonic perimeter to strike again. Tactical decoys are deployed. Bioluminescent ink clouds create false targets, overwhelming the shark's sensory systems with a kaleidoscope of misleading visual information. Every close encounter reminds us of the stakes. This is a battle against a living extinction event, a creature that has no place in the modern world. The underwater world is illuminated by the flashes of technology and the bioluminescence of the deep, a surreal landscape of high-stakes combat and survival. No part of the shark is harmless. Its tail is a massive club, capable of shattering drone housings and creating lethal turbulence for any nearby craft. Target locked. We need to drive it deep, back into the trench where the pressure will force it to stay. One final massive burst of energy. The systems are screaming. The thermal limits are being reached. This is the gamble that will determine the fate of everyone on the Aura of the Seas. Fire! The ocean trembles as the maximum frequency pulse strikes the Megalodon, a literal wall of sound that forces the prehistoric titan to retreat. The blow is decisive. Disoriented and overwhelmed by the sensory assault, the monster loses its grip on the situation and begins to fall back. It descends. The trackers show it falling past 1,000 meters. Then too, the immediate threat is neutralized, but the clock is still ticking. A momentary calm returns to the surface. The monster is gone for now, leaving behind a crippled ship and a sea full of technological scars. The damage is catastrophic. The Aura of the Seas is taking on water faster than its pumps can handle. The battle is won, but the rescue continues. Structural analysis is grim. The ship is nearing its tipping point. If we don't seal those breaches now, the ocean will finish what the shark started. Phase 2 begins. While the drones keep watch for the return of the beast, the engineers move in to perform the most daring repair in history. Technology must now save what technology could not protect. Every weld must be perfect to withstand the immense pressure of the Pacific Ocean. The repair crew descends. In the silence of the deep, a desperate race against time and gravity unfolds to keep the luxury liner afloat. Titanium anchors are driven deep into the ship's skeleton, providing the necessary leverage to keep the fractured hull from splitting further under its own weight. The tension is immense. These cables are the only thing holding the Aura of the Seas together as the currents try to pull the pieces apart. Plasma welding under thousands of feet of water is a miracle of modern science, sealing the wounds of the ship with a bond stronger than steel. A high-tech bandage for a metal giant. The flexible alloy patch conforms to the ship's curves, creating an airtight seal against the encroaching deep. Magnetic locks engage with a sound of finality. The primary leak is stopped, but the ship's weight and balance are still dangerously compromised. To stabilize the vessel, massive emergency buoyancy bags are deployed. They are the lungs that will keep this wounded giant from sinking into the abyss. As the bags fill with high-pressure gas, the ship groans as it is forced back toward a level position, a painful but necessary correction. Hope returns to the engine room. The pumps, powered by external Hades generators, begin the long process of reclaiming the ship from the sea. Every bolt tightened is a life saved. The divers work with a precision that defies the dangerous environment and the looming threat of the predator's return. The Aura of the Seas is no longer a drifting wreck. It is a patient in a high-tech field hospital sustained by the genius of Project Hades. But the King of the Deep is persistent. The sonar shows it rising again. Drawn by the vibrations of the repair work and the scent of blood, it watches from the edge of the light, a silent observer of the human struggle, waiting for the repairs to finish before it makes its final move. Fear is a constant companion in the deep. For the divers, the proximity of the beast is a weight heavier than the ocean pressure itself. A wall of magnesium flares creates a blinding barrier, a sun under the sea meant to ward off a creature that thrives in the eternal dark. The grid is complete. The ship is as stable as it can be. Now begins the most dangerous part, the long tow back to safety. Power is transferred. The mothership's engines roar to life, taking the weight of the cruise ship and beginning the journey home. Every mile gained is a victory. The slow, steady pulse of the engines is a heartbeat of survival in a world that tried to claim them. The Megalodon follows, a silent escort to the edge of its territory, acknowledging the strength of its opponent, but never truly giving up the hunt. The longest night of their lives is ending. As the sun prepares to rise, the survivors of the aura of the seas see the world again. The dawn brings more than just light. It brings the realization that humanity can stand against the shadows of the ancient world and emerge victorious. Tears of relief flow as the realization of their survival sinks in. They have seen the face of a prehistoric god and live to tell the tale. The predator returns to the darkness. Its kingdom is the deep, a place where time stands still and the rules of the surface world do not apply. Mission accomplished. Project Hades has once again proven that while the ocean is vast and dangerous, the human spirit and ingenuity are even more formidable. A hero's welcome for a battered giant. The aura of the seas returns to the world of men, scarred but still standing, a testament to resilience. The world will soon know the truth. The legends of the deep are not just stories. They are a reality that we must be prepared to face. For the men and women of Project Hades, there is no rest. One monster has been driven back, but the abyss is deep and full of terrors. The connection is severed. The Megalodon vanishes back into the unknown, a ghost in the machine of our modern, hubristic understanding of the natural world. We live on a planet of water, a world where we are merely guests on the surface. Beneath us lies a frontier we are only beginning to understand. Project Hades. We are the watchers on the wall, the guardians of the boundary between the light of civilization and the darkness of the deep. The rescue is over, but the ocean never sleeps. Somewhere in the dark, the king is waiting, and Project Hades will be there when it returns.